Hello, good afternoon, everyone, or whenever you're watching this. I think this is episode number 5, if I'm not mistaken. We're definitely on a roll. And I think, or at least I hope, Andreas, you brought some new topics for us to discuss. Shoot.
Yeah, sure. It's a thing we're actually discussing with a customer at the moment. I think it's an interesting thing to throw on the table. So we have a client that worked very hard to build a prototype of their platform, actually the second iteration of their platform in Lovable. So they spend a lot of time prompting and everything,
Mhm.
getting a pretty good, very high fidelity actually prototype using Lovable. And now the question is that they're asking is, okay, can we continue from this prototype to develop the actual product? And so we started thinking about the trade-off that we have there. Is that doable or
I
not?
think I think it kind of reminds me of, the work that we've been doing already for a long time, which is we help out when startups or scale-ups, they need to transition into something more scalable. Often we come into these code bases that don't make a lot of sense either. They're bootstrapped together, they hack together. And I think, well, in my opinion, that is a good way to start. But as always, you need to find the right point to switch and start going a different path. And I think it's going to be a bit the same with these Lovable, or you have anti-gravity from Google now. These bootstrap things using a lot of AI, I think it can get you to product market fit, but make sure that at some point when you need to be ready for that switch when you need to. So
Yeah,
I think that's my take.
the thing is here, it's they realize that they cannot use this with actual customers also already because of ISO requirements that they have in terms of security, but also yeah, it's a very specific industry that they're in. It's a regulated industry as well. So you cannot just take it and take for granted that it keeps working. The approach that we had in mind is to export the Lovable and it exports to React Next.js, I believe. It's powered by Supabase as well. And we started looking into the code base and it turns out actually, I mean, I would approach it as a legacy code base. But then the question is still, is that a good approach? Does it bring us further than if we would start from scratch? I mean, when you have to deal with legacy, of course, it slows you down, right? Because that's what legacy is. Does it make sense to start from that and consider it basically as a legacy system we have to work with? Or do we, do we start from scratch and
Yeah.
based on what they did in Lovable? And the problem with the starting from scratch is obviously that you need to kind of reverse engineer, and that's what we tried. What's in Lovable? And actually, what we did, we used Cloud Code to take the React that came out of it, and we tried to figure out, okay, what is it doing? And the output is it's 80% good. So it's a good starting point. Um, I mean, we're at this moment, I have the feeling we're not at the point yet where you can actually basically export it out of Lovable and continue developing on it.
Mhm.
There's like lots of code repetition, there's hallucinations in it, and that's making it still very hard. And I wonder if we will ever get to a point where it will be possible. I think there is a point, and we're doing that with our internal tooling already, where we basically say we don't care about the code quality, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. So you vibe code everything, and that's fine. But here, because you want to continue developing it in a not vibe coding way, you need to get it under control. And I think that's the kind of difficulty that we're having here.
Yeah. I think it's exactly that. And I think what it does today, Lovable and others, is not, you can't take it and continue from it. I think that's a bit the conclusion that we have at the moment. I think there's so much, like, I think the AI produces so much code, so much more than any junior would. When a junior or a hacker cobbles something together, I think AI does a lot more than that. It hallucinates. It does things that are not necessary. It overcomplicates things, and actually that makes it even more complex to step in. Typically, what we see is that when you see a startup, they have their first code base. It's the bare minimum. They just bootstrap it together. With AI, I think you have a lot more code, and I think the most complex code bases that we've come in are the ones where there's over engineering, there's over abstraction, and there's a lot of decisions being made that nobody knows why they were being made. So I think that's why at this moment, maybe the main approach would be to start from scratch, which is, as you know, it's not something that we like to do. We like to continue from an existing code base.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's. I think it's a bit sad actually, but that we have come to the same conclusion at this stage. And for me, actually, the thing that really made me make my opinion very clear is that we cannot find an agency that's willing to take on the task to continuously lovable. That for me makes that no one wants to take the risk yet. I mean, probably we as maybe law, we would do it because we care about legacy. But the question is, down the road will the approach of dealing with the legacy or considering as legacy be economically more expensive as doing it greenfield? That's the question. So I think you'll probably have a head start. So you'll have a go to market that's quicker, but later on it will be more painful. So that's a trade off that we have, I believe.
I think as we see more projects, time will tell, right? We'll see more of
Yeah,
these, I think.
but I haven't
Okay,
seen
you
any
got a
examples yet.
no. I think this is a first for us. Do you have a news
Yeah,
fact
yeah.
of the week as well?
Of course, I do. I think the most obvious thing that happened in the last week is 2 weeks is Claude Cowork. I know we checked, you don't know about it yet. So
I have
basically,
to admit, no.
it's agents. I mean, it's basically the OpenAI agent mode, but then for the desktop. Basically, Claude can control your desktop. I've been playing actually with computer use models in the last weeks. It's extremely powerful.
You
So
used to
basically,
play
what
right.
I did play around everything, but this is on your desktop. So basically, you have the Claude app. You give it access to your system, and it can do actions on your system on your behalf, right? Which is crazy. People are amazed. And actually, yesterday I got the email because I was like thinking, like, okay, it was not only with Cloud Max subscribers. Yesterday I got the email, okay, it will be added to your team plan as well. So that means every team member in our team that has a paid subscription on Cloud will have it in their Cloud app, which is
What's
extremely nice.
what is the first thing you've done with it?
I haven't used it yet, but for me, the security risk
Yeah,
is real. And I was thinking because they sent the email up front, like to allow me to disable it, right? And I'm thinking, as a security officer of our company, right?
exactly.
Do I need to disable it? Because in the end, and that's what they have as a disclaimer, of course, when you enable it, is like it can do harm as well, right? With Cloud Code, actually, as well. I am very quick to say yes, allow edits, yes, allow edits, and then you can also say these commands you're allowed to run them. I have the rm or m commands. And so my project saying, yeah, you can run them to delete files. But that means you can also run rm dash rf slash, no, so slash, right? It can erase your whole computer
Yeah,
if it would want to. And that's of course reckless, right? And it's the same with this. How far do we want to go?
I think one more thing to add to that, and then we'll wrap it up, is that I think more and more for all these AI tools will go towards very fine grained permissions. You need to have like automated, a human in between, manual, and I think that's going to be the clue for a lot of these AI tools that we'll see in the futures. Yeah, but I think that's our time. Thanks a lot, Andreas, and see you next time.
Yes, thank you.
Bye bye.